Hello, I'm Michael Kopinski, the Director of Research and Media and Entertainment Analyst at Noble Capital Markets. We're taking a look today at 1-800-Flowers.com. The stock symbol is FLWS. The market cap is about $1.26 billion. Many of you know that 1-800-Flowers.com is a gifting company that sends floral arrangements, but it also owns Harry & David, Gourmet Food and Gift Baskets, Sherry's Berries, The Popcorn Factory, Cheryl's Cookies, Wolferman's, and the list goes on. It is the destination for gifting. With Mother's Day coming up, why not look at a gifting company? But importantly, it's one of the few companies that is doing pretty well in this economy and during COVID. This company is benefiting from strong e-commerce sales and social distancing, which has increased demand for gifting. Today we have the CFO, William Shea, and the Director of Investor Relations, Joe Pititto, to talk about the e-commerce trends at the company and the upcoming Mother's Day holiday. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Well, first, last week you reported fiscal third quarter in March 2020 results, and they were strong. Revenues were up like 12.2%. Obviously, the company is benefiting from strong e-commerce sales and people staying at home and ordering online and from social distancing. So you indicated that there were a few days in March when the mitigation efforts of COVID kind of gained steam, and there was a little bit of disruption in your business. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what you initially felt and how did it turn around?
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, Mike, our initial results, those first 2 weeks in under COVID, the last 2 weeks in March, where we did see a spike in GFGB e-commerce demand. A lot of that we got the benefit for in the month of April because they were Easter related and we shipped them out. But a few other factors, we saw a significant drop off in the consumer floral e-commerce demand. We saw some cancellation of some wholesale orders. We saw the closure of some of our retail stores. So initially we were taken back by COVID-19. That quickly turned around a little bit. But let me explain each of the components of that. First, the drop off in consumer floral, mainly in the sympathy category. Kind of the inability also to deliver get well gifts to hospitals, shutting off deliveries to commercial buildings. Really, the impacted our trend line. We were growing at about 9% through the first 10 weeks of the month of March, and we reported 5.4% growth for this, for the consumer floral category. Remarkably, this changed on a dime come the turn of the calendar to April. I believe consumers got adjusted to working from home, started celebrating sympathy and other occasions at the home, and started taking deliveries to the home. And I think the timing of the Easter holiday was critical as people started to realize they were not going to get together with friends and family for Easter. They started sending gifts, and we really saw kind of a gifting frenzy that lasted through the Easter holiday and then actually, quite frankly, past the Easter holiday. So that's what affected kind of consumer floral. We saw the uptick in e-commerce demand on GFGB. A lot of that benefit happened in April, but the impact on consumer floral, both for the 1-800-Flowers brand and quite frankly to the entire industry, meant less orders going into BloomNet. So with BloomNet, where we saw double-digit growth rates through the first 10 weeks of the quarter, that dropped the last couple of weeks of March, and we wound up reporting 7.9% growth in that segment. Overall, I think we would have finished at around closer to 14% growth, not the 12.2 that we reported, if those trend lines had not dropped off in the last 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
And then we did discuss in our call that, as Bill talked about at the April, those trends reversed themselves, and we saw very strong growth in consumer floral, and even more so in gourmet food and gift basket, as Bill was saying, across the board. Started out in the Harry & David products and the products like self-consumption and gifting, self-gifting in the prepared foods, and then it expanded to popcorn and all of our other brands.
Well, it seems like the company's in a sweet spot, right? It's benefiting from people staying at home. And it would seem that the strong e-commerce demand is bringing a lot of new customers to you. Can you talk a little bit about how the recent demand benefits your customer files and why is that important?
Okay. Yeah, Michael, I mean, our customer lists are robust, and growing. The higher demand that we saw and are seeing is being fueled not just by our existing customer base, but in many cases, new customers. As a direct marketing company, albeit a new age direct marketing company, a robust and growing customer file is a key to our success. As you can imagine, it's much easier to market to an existing customer than it is to a new customer. So having a growing customer base as we head into the unknown of the future is just such a key asset that we have, and gives us quite a tailwind as we head into fiscal 21.
Gotcha. And an important component of that customer file is our Passport program. As you remember, Passport is the free shipping, free service across all the brands, and we're seeing a significant increase in customers, new to file and existing customers, who are signing up for Passport, using Passport, shopping cross-brand, so a lot more cross-brand purchases, which means more multi-brand customers. And within our customer file, multi-brand customers are our best customer cohort.
Gotcha. And let's turn to Mother's Day holiday. It's one of your biggest holidays, right? And for your Floral brand, I think in the past you said it's about 12% of your total Floral sales, about $50 million in revenues. You indicated that demand has accelerated into Mother's Day, and there could be some capacity constraints. Can you talk a little bit about those possible issues with the strong demand that you're seeing? And then how do you balance the demand with the ability to deliver the product?
Okay. Yeah. Mother's Day is our second biggest holiday. It's our biggest consumer Floral, holiday. Probably represents actually closer to probably 15% of consumer Floral annual revenues, and probably 7% of our enterprise-wide consumer, revenues. We have seen very strong early demand, for Mother's Day. So the trend lines we saw from Easter, post-Easter through April has continued as we head towards, Mother's Day. Certainly within the 1-800-Flowers brand, but also within our food brands. The issue you raise on the ability to fulfill Floral orders, is a real one. With social distancing requirements and keeping workers safe, florists are unable to ramp up the way they have in the past. So as an example, many florists would ramp up maybe tenfold what their normal delivery capabilities would be at the key Valentine's Day and Mother's Day holidays. But because of COVID-19, they're not going to be able to to do so. As a result, what we've been able to do is we have a direct business. A direct Floral business from flowers in a box that we deliver via FedEx. We've stepped up those operations to be able to help offset some of the lower fulfillment capabilities of the consumer Floral, and we're going to be featuring our food brands for Mother's Day. And so while that's been building as a Mother's Day has been building as a holiday for our food brands, it's taking a much bigger piece as we head into this holiday. I think our food brands are really going to have an excellent Mother's Day.
And you can see it on the website. You can see on the 1-800-Flowers website, obviously featuring flowers for Mother's Day and plants, two big categories. But increasingly, you see us cross-merchandising a lot of food gift items on the flower side as well.
And Bill, you mentioned a little bit about your direct ship Floral segment. How is this business performing now that competitors have either gone bankrupt or exited the business? And I know that there's some challenges to scale that business, but you've really never really talked about that business in the past as much. I think you were probably probably with some constraints about what you could do with the florist, obviously. So is this segment benefiting from the constraints in the floral arrangement business? And finally, is it a growth segment of a business for you? Are you really putting some effort behind growing it?
Certainly, direct Floral has seen some outsized, growth, and yes, benefited some from the weakness of our competitors. But we've also expanded the product offerings that we provide to customers, through that channel. It usually is a lower priced item, so it's a lower priced alternative versus the florist fulfilled item. And the florist fulfilled item is still our kind of our bread and butter, and it's our key product. We think it has a better wow factor, so we still feature that. However, there are limitations as we head into into this Mother's Day on the florist fulfilled side. So we have actually planned capacity up several 100,000 orders on the direct side. So that's to be able to kind of offset some of the limitations I mentioned earlier with regard to florist fulfilled. And as Joe was referencing just a few minutes ago, we've seen significant growth in both the plant and succulent categories, and these are all fulfilled through, many cases are fulfilled through that direct channel. So we do think certainly for in the current scenario, it's going to have outsized growth compared to where it normally would be, but it is a growing channel for us, and a lot of it is the expansion of the product offerings that we have within the 1-800-Flowers channel and the plant category in particular.
And Bill, you mentioned about the challenges that the florists are facing right now to fulfill orders for Mother's Day, given the strong demand and the inability of the florists to scale. But what's unique about 1-800-Flowers.com is the diversification. And you mentioned earlier about your food category, and you are probably the largest gifting company, for instance, in the food category. Your customers have the ability to send other gifting items, which include that gourmet food. How important is food gifts becoming for Mother's Day, and what other gifts are trending for Mother's Day outside of floral?
Yeah, we have clearly seen great trend lines in the gourmet food and gift basket category since the start of the pandemic. Even actually, if we go back to Q3, we talked about 27% growth in the gourmet food and gift basket category. Yeah, half of it was attributable to Sherry's, but we're still showing 13, 14% organic growth in that category, and that really was pre the pandemic. So the trend lines have been strong, and they just really accelerated at both Easter time. And again, if you remember the products that we have and what Harry and David has to offer, whether it's be prepared prepared gourmet line, it's kind of wine and cheese category, the stockyard steaks that it has, the Wolferman's muffins, desserts, all these things as people are staying at home and gathering within the home and not going out to restaurants, all plays well in this category. So this category is and segment is growing tremendously, and it will for Mother's Day. It's going to be a big component of our Mother's Day holiday this year.
People are not going to the restaurant, so they're looking for gourmet food items still, I guess.
Without question.
Yeah. So you reiterated your favorable growth guidance in your last quarterly call, but looking beyond Mother's Day, how do you think the company will perform given the high unemployment rates, which had adversely impacted your growth in the past? Will the strong trend towards e-commerce continue to offset the unemployment impact? And I know that you managed through difficult times before, like in 2008 to 2012 period. How prepared are you to weather the economic clouds? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Michael, it's very difficult to predict really how long COVID-19 will last and what the ultimate impact, on the economy and on the unemployment rates, will be. But I do believe we are well positioned to perform well even in a down, economy. We have a broad selection of products with a wide range of price points. Our gifts are thoughtful in nature and provide for the right sentiment in today's world. As we recover as a nation, certain trends I believe will continue. E-commerce trends, which were strong prior to COVID, have now accelerated. Travel and seeing loved ones will be less, certainly in the near term. And thoughtful gifting is going to benefit. So I really do believe we are well positioned to weather the economic clouds that we face in front of us.
And so my final question here. Oh, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Michael, and having the time to really, figure out to scale our operating costs appropriately, the lead time that we have here to prepare really puts us in an excellent position to handle a downturn.
Gotcha. So my final question is, at this point, what are you going to be sending your mothers for Mother's Day? And I promise not to show this video. Are you sending flowers or are you sending something else?
Okay, Michael, I have a story to tell you. I've been with 1-800-Flowers for 24 years. I started in April of 1996. I'm driving in my car with my wife, thinking about what to get my mother for Mother's Day, and she's always was very difficult to buy for. and I let slip out, and these are the words I wish I could take back, because I let slip out to my wife that, oh, why don't we just order from 1-800-Flowers? I work there. I've seen how easy it is to do it. It's just so easy to order from 1-800-Flowers. And my wife turned to me and said, well, from now on, I expect flowers because you work for 1-800-Flowers, but you better get me more than just flowers, because it's so easy for you to order from them, that you don't even have to think about it. So this Mother's Day, my mom is getting flowers, my wife is getting flowers, but I got to get something else for her as well.
Good for her. What about you, Joe?
I went with a fruit bouquet, a mom's fruit bouquet for my mom, and with Sherry's berries, strawberries with it, and my wife's getting a beautiful bouquet of flowers delivered to the house.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm looking at the Sherry's berries. I'm going to send it to some of my friends.
They're a big hit in my family. They're big. You can't lose with those.
Well, gentlemen, I thank you for taking the time today. I do want to mention to everyone for more information on 1-800-Flowers.com, please go to Channelchek.com. Channelchek spelled the traditional way, with check spelled CHEK.com. And there you'll be able to pick up research reports and additional information on the company. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Bill and Joe, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael.
Okay, Michael.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Bye.